Oh my god, I did it! We actually did it! Today, we start this episode off by making it across the little rock bridge that we reached in the previous episode. This episode is going to be a little different than the last one. See, Pokemon sent out a notification of bug fixes and such coming in their next update 1.2 at the end of February. Now, I don't plan on taking that long to finish this challenge, but to be on the safe side, I figured we would go around and unlock all of the major flying areas on the map so that we will have access to them should they patch the teleport bug. So, we start heading out into the great unknown. We make it through most of the world fairly easily, unlocking Artizone, Lavencia, Zapopico, Medali, Port Marinada, Cascarafa, and Cortando, which then leads to the more difficult areas to reach, including Glaciado, Montenevera, and Alfornada. The only reason these places are harder to reach is because of the levels of the Pokemon in those areas, as well as one of them requiring a lot of strategy to traverse on foot. We tackle Glaciado and Montenevera first. These two are pretty straightforward, climb the mountain, following the paths, and there shouldn't be too many problems. I also head as far north as possible to claim that fast travel spot for Chansey farming and getting evolutions taken care of. Which then leaves us with Alfornada, the focal point of this video. I wanted to go into this part of the challenge with at least a stronger Pokemon, so I start chaining Chanseys for a bit. This leads to another problem. There isn't a single normal encounter meal sold at any of the shops in the game, so I have to resort to finding a rare spawning Pokemon and knocking it out. Luckily, Chansey is a super rare, and I find a lot of them. Enough to reach level 35 with Primeape and learn Rage Fist. Excited about reaching this level, I hit the Los Platos, dishes, and start Rage Fisting the snot out of the tiny defenseless Pokemon there. I get all 20 Rage Fists completed and head back to knock out a couple more Chanseys, and eventually get my Annihilate. We head over to the cave that leads to Alfornada. As we approach the entrance, we come across this sign telling us that we won't make it on foot. It even has an exclamation point to further make it known. We head into the cave, and as much as I try, I just can't seem to teleport to the top of one of these cliffs. The Pokemon are either too close to the edge, or what I feared, with the update coming out, has already happened. I try multiple times at all different spots, and just nothing. I can't seem to make it up the rocks. I don't understand why. I decided to take a break and come up with a plan. I noticed that there were a ton of fighting Pokemon in the cave while I was in there, so I decided to see if I could find a fighting encounter boost meal. I find one at this little shop on my first try, and head back with a new tactic. The cave is bustling with fighting Pokemon now, and then I noticed one of the other flaws that I didn't realize before. You see, if there's a rock face above you, wherever you are trying to teleport to, you will get trapped on it and be forced to stay below. So, what I mean is, these little end coves where you could go up into the mountain and see up underneath, there's a rock above you and you cannot go through that. Seeing what I was doing wrong, and having a ton more options to throw our now magical ball at again, we easily make it around some of the more difficult areas. We come across a couple bad areas, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. Stand far enough back that I'm not right against the ledge, throw my ball, and teleport to the spot. We now bring in problem number 2 with this cave, the last little stretch right here. I ran around this area for about 20 minutes and just could not get a Pokemon to spawn on the top level, so I had to resort to a different strategy. Just to clarify, whenever you throw a ball, you either jump forward to the Pokemon, or you jump backwards, right? If I could get a Pokemon to spawn on this little piece of rock sticking off, I could maybe force myself up the rock side if I jump backwards and just happen to land on the top level. But out of the entire time I've been at the spot, not a single Pokemon has spawned on that rock. There just had to be a way. And then it happened. A Salandit spawned on the rock, and I knew I had to make this work. The problem now was that the rock to get on is also very small. Having to fit the Salandit, Annihilate, and myself on it would be a challenge. It takes a couple tries, but I eventually make it up. Now is the part that I have no clue if it will work or not. And then, oh my god, I did it! We actually did it! And just like that, we are now on the top rock face, and it was our final barrier, keeping us from reaching Alfornada. We head to the top of the cave exit, and we have officially made it to the hardest area to reach in the base game. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to follow along on the next adventure, where we start filling out more of the Pokédex. If you haven't seen the first video, you can check it out here. Until next time, peace.